Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing well. Now, most of you will or will not know that Moulds and Shapes are reopening on the 1st of August 2026, and not only are they reopening for new orders on the 1st of August 2026, they are staying open. Guys, they are not closing. I am sure most of you will know by now. It is great news, but do sign up to their newsletter if you would like to know any further information. So this is their elongated Druzy Edge mould, measuring 29 centimeters from one edge to the other edge. The inside of the mould is measuring around the 24 centimeter mark. So this is the mould we're using today. If it is a mould that you'd love to get your hands on, write it on your list, ready for them to reopen on the 1st of August. Now, this is my Manifesting Your Dreams series. I won't go too deeply into the manifesting side of life, but we're going for the moon this time. Now, firstly, I'm not a witch, but I'm kind of like a wannabe witch. Do you know what I mean, guys? I want to live out in the forest and do all foresty things. We're using the Let's Resin Chameleon powder, and we're using the Let's Resin in this video. And I'm going to see me now dusting the edge of this Druzy Edge tray with the chameleon. I don't want to dust all of it, just the edge. But where the moon comes in for me, I truly believe we are managed by the moon. I truly believe that our moods are determined on full moons. I think the full moon, right? I do believe that the full moon impacts our moods and all of that kind of moon energy. So on the 1st of every month, I blow cinnamon in through my front door, and on a daily basis, I wake up and I say thank you, and I'm very grateful for another day. I'm grateful to wake up, and I'm grateful for all of the things I have. Even though, you know, wealth, I'm not loaded, I don't have a lot of money in the bank, I can't just afford to go out and get a new bathroom and things like that. But I'm very, very grateful for the things that I do have, and that's health and love and all of those things. But I am also, when it comes to the moon, I'm very strongly believe in the power of positive thinking. And on a daily basis, I will manifest words like, what is meant for me will find me. What is meant for me won't pass me by. And I am exactly where I need to be at this moment to receive abundance. And I feel an overwhelming sense of gratitude for everything I do have. That being said, I'm a strong believer in the power of positivity. I believe that if you put positive energy out into the universe, you receive positive energy back. And that is just my experience. I do believe that if you are kind to others and you are full of just positivity and gratitude for others and you support others, that you will get that support back. And that's just my belief system. And that is where the moon comes in, because every full moon I do go out and I have a chat. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, hey, thanks for everything. I'm very, very grateful for all of the things I have. And that's friendships and love and not necessarily wealth. I also, I say things like money flows into me. That part, not yet, right? But it will at some stage. Now let's talk about the video again. This is where the moon phases come in, because I truly believe it affects our energy. This is the stunning moon phases silk screen. Now, it has been a while since I've used a silk screen. If you've been with me a while, you would have seen this before on my channel. If you are new here, these silk screens work a dream. It's a self-adhesive silk screen. I got it from Amazon. It will stick to your silicone mold. Just be gentle with it though, because of course it's not permanently stuck, it's just sticking for now. And I'm using the same plum chameleon powder from Let's Resin, and I'm using a makeup brush. Now, it was you guys, thank you so much, who got me on to the sponge makeup applicators, and I'm using the sponge makeup applicator to rub the silicone. I'm rubbing the chameleon powder well and truly in through the spaces on the silk screen, and I'm going slowly. What I want is for the design on the silk screen to be out on the silicone mold, but I don't want the powder everywhere. And that is where you guys said, Claire, use a sponge makeup brush. It will change your life, because I was using a brush. And of course the brush was flying this powder all over the place. And if you guys remember, it must be a couple years ago. It was one of my favorite things to create, but it didn't come out well at all. And I used gold powder to then put black resin on the back with the beetles. Does anyone remember that from a couple years ago? And there was just gold powder everywhere, and I really wasn't happy. And I think it was off the back of that video that so many of you said, use a sponge, Claire, it will change your life. So this is where you want to blow off all of the excess powder before gently lifting your silk screen off of your mold. And oh my goodness me, what a difference that makes. And this is the result. Now, I had plans for this. Right now, what we've done is we've used the chameleon powder to dust the edge, and we've used the chameleon powder to use on the silk screen. Now, it was inspired by this tray. If you guys remember, I mentioned I'm going to be bulk filming, right? So you'll see all the resin is already made up, and you'll see that the resin is already made up here because I was filming the previous video at the same time as filming this one. So if you missed the previous video with the manifesting hands, thank you so much for your support on that. I just wanted to show you a quick brief clip in this video, right? That's the behind the scenes. I had all of this going on in the background. So if you're wondering where I've suddenly got all this resin from without mixing it up on screen, that's why, because all of that resin was made for the previous video. So it's a bit chaotic for me right now because, like I've mentioned, my mum is now living with me. She's very, very happy. She's very settled. She's loving the spare room. We are not loving the heat, but I did have to film bulk just to prepare for the first month of my mum living here so that I can settle into this new way of life, if you like. But here we are, look. I used the Vista liquid pigment, and guys, I've only just learned this week that Vista is no more. Vista resin is gone. It's finished. I'm shocked. I didn't know. I got a DM from someone saying it's finished, and I had no idea. Correct me if I'm wrong, and if they're still going strong, I am sorry, but I checked them out and they're gone, guys. Anyway, look at this result. I was so happy with this result. Everything I had planned for this tray at this point went out of the window. Look at this. Look, guys, seriously, the difference a makeup sponge makes to your silk screen and your neatness and your ability to contain the powder within the silk screen design using a sponge is unreal. This is so much more than I was expecting it to be. This is me opening the blinds because, oh my gosh, you need to see the shimmer. The shimmer on this powder is everything, honestly. Now, I'm not going to lie. At this moment in time, I had plans for a vinyl. I wanted this to have something to do with manifesting, but obviously as well, the power of positive energy, and putting positivity out will return positivity. And I had a quote ready. I had a quote that was weeded, but I just couldn't do it. I couldn't put it on. I think I loved the result so much, I decided to leave it as is, as it is. Yeah, I couldn't cover up the moon phase design. I was just so impressed with the results. What I did need to do, however, is sand the edges. Now, I haven't used my Let's Resin sanding machine for quite some time because a deburring tool is so much easier on round edged trays. However, these Druzy Edge trays, oh my gosh, guys, the sanding machine is the only way for me. The deburring tool is great, but when you've got such a brutally crooked and wonky and detailed edge like these Druzy trays, the sanding machine is it for me. I went in hard and I went in brutal with like an 80 grit. I think I used an 80 or a 100 grit. That is brutal. That is going to get that super sharp edge gone in 60 seconds. But of course, it has left an absolute eyesore of a brutally sanded bottom. I'm not too bothered about bottoms. I'll be honest, guys. Some people might want to polish them back up as if they're brand new resin. I am not that somebody. I don't care about the bottoms. I don't believe that people will, not buy a piece because they can see the sanded base. I think most people will have their tray upright and not have it sitting on the side upside down. So therefore I don't spend too much time worrying about the base. But what I did do, apart from the fact that I nearly lost the sanding machine, what I did do once I'd done the brutal 80 grit that gets rid of that deep harsh sharpness, I did then go in with a really high grit. I think this was 1000. I showed it on camera quite a while back and it's too long ago for me to remember. But like a really, really high grit, 1000 grit or 800, 900, 1000, 2000, 1500, those kind of grits, they're smoothing grits. So they will not make my base utterly perfect, but what they will do is get rid of some of those deeply ingrained harsh lines from the 60-80 grit. And I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. If you want to go higher, guys, you can go all the way up to 10,000 grit, 15,000 grit, 20,000 grit to bring this surface back up to a resin shine. Like I never sanded it in the first place. I'm not that person, but please be that person. If it's in you, you go for it. Here we are, just using a ton of water. Make sure you use a ton of water when you do sand your bases, and then just wiping it off with a wet wipe and of course some isopropyl alcohol. And you can already see it's so much better than that brutal surface that the 80 grit left. And that's it, done, sanded. I wiped the base over with some alcohol and then I added some cork feet, and then it was time to top coat. Now, like I said, I really did want to add a quote on here, and I did weed the quote, but I just couldn't bring myself to cover up the moon phases. I think the result was just so crystal clear, and I didn't make much mess. Well, if any mess. Like usually I'd see chameleon powder everywhere, and it just came out so neat. I couldn't bring myself to put words across the center. But let me know, if you were to put words on this tray, what would you put? Let me know in the comment section down below. What quote or, you know, kind of universal moony, moony, if that's a word. What moon related quote would you put across the center if you were to add wording? Let me know if you think I made the right decision, if you think it could have coped with a quote across the center. And I think the next few videos have all had so many quotes on. I just feel like I was quite happy that I didn't do that for this one. Now, again, this could be wall art. It could be your bookshelf art. And you could add chain to it. And if you want to do that, you can put a lot more resin in than I did. I just put in enough to top coat, and so it's still a tray. But I love this one. I love the results of this one so much. And yeah, again, my plans didn't quite follow through because I didn't want to cover it up. But let me know your thoughts. Oh, look, here I am. I'm only putting the cork feet on right now. So there you go. I put it on after I top coated. Cork feet go on, and then we are done. I am really intrigued by everyone's belief systems. Let me know in the comment section. If you're still here, thank you. I know this video is a bit chaotic, but if you are still here, let me know in the comment section if you believe that the moon affects your mood, or if you believe that the moon affects the mood of someone else you know. But I'm telling you, let me tell you, after 20 years in early years education, let me tell you something for nothing. The full moon... We didn't do much work in school on a full moon. It was a play day for a lot of the time. The children, I am telling you from the bottom of my heart, I truly believe it affected the classroom. It affected the classroom. And as teachers and early years practitioners, we used to look around at each other and say, you do know it's a full moon today. Should we just go outside and like have a water fight? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I hope this video has inspired you to do something along the lines. And of course, everything you need to know will be in the description box below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.